Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Whispering Willow Oracle. Today we're going to be doing another current energies reading. So this is your past, present, and future. This may have already happened, it may be happening, or it will happen. Please take what resonates and remember that timing is fluid, so this message is for you whenever you come across it. Thank you, angels and spirit guides, for being here today to provide guidance to the collective. Thank you for providing clear guidance to the collective. What is it that the collective needs to know today? Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and let's see what we get for your future position here. Death. So I think this may be the end of a relationship. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a romantic relationship. I feel like it may either be a friendship or potentially some conflict within your family. I'm getting that you might be like the black sheep of the family. World. You may have felt that you didn't receive the same amount of energy or love from someone here in your family, or you were just different than your family. This one wants to come out. The Eight of Cups reversed. So this energy is it's very complex, as any family can be. There's a lot of complex relationships, situations, energies, emotions. You know, we are with our family from birth to death, and unless you lose your family, or unless you go no contact, they're usually, for most people, a very consistent feature in our lives. And the relationships we have with these people change significantly in different phases of our lives. And you know, and depending on who you are within the family, like, are you in your current situation? I'm reading this from the perspective of a child. Now, you can be a child until you pass away. You were somebody's child at one time. You currently are somebody's child. So I'm getting this. It doesn't really matter how old you are. You know, I'm actually feeling like it's more for someone who's an adult, but it could be someone who's younger. I'm reading this from the perspective of how you feel as the child. So if you have children or a spouse or anything, I'm not getting that this is the family that you chose. This is the family that you grew up with, your mother, your father, your siblings, and how you, or even cousins, like just the people who you were raised around, and what your position within that family looked like, and how you were treated and compared, and opportunities that you were given, and opportunities that you may have perceived you missed out on because of your position within the family. One more card, Spirit. I think that this Seven of Wands is like, you stuck out like a sore thumb. Maybe you're very, very different than your Justice as the final card. So I'm getting some LGBTQ vibes here, just because of the coloring, of course, and take that as that resonates. It could be that you were ostracized from the family because you were different, because you were different than your siblings, or different from what your parents expected you to be, different from your cousins, different from what the norm was. And you know, you may have left home very early, You may have been kicked out. There could have been so many situations here of why you had a falling out, particularly with your mother or with a mother figure. Could have been a grandmother, could have been an aunt. But with a parental figure, I'm seeing that you felt a lack of love, you felt a lack of being seen, and you walked away from the family, or you distanced yourself for a period of time, especially in your 20s and maybe your early 30s. And now that you've, come to accept yourself or come to conclusions about your family and about yourself and about who you are in the world, you've maybe forgiven some people. This could have been through therapy, shadow work, a lot of like introspection, a lot of deep self-work here. And you've come back to the situation, maybe to have conversations with your family or to reconnect with them. I feel like you've forgiven them, or even if you haven't forgiven them, you feel like it's been long enough. It may be that you have your own children now and you're curious to see if you can have a relationship with your parents so that your kids can have a relationship with their grandparents. I just see that you're kind of, you're coming back here, and you may realize that more has changed while you've been gone than you could have imagined. And the attitudes of your family have changed, and you might be surprised that you're going to be getting a lot of apologies. Not just from your mother and not just from this parental figure, but maybe from siblings who you don't really have any like beef with, or maybe you do, but just apologizing that they, couldn't have been there for you, or they didn't realize what you were going through, or that they didn't stand up for you more, or they didn't have an appreciation for what you were going through, or they made it worse. Maybe your sibling was your bully, and somebody didn't stop that here. I see a lot of, you may have fought a lot with your family, you may have fought a lot with your siblings, and you may have felt that like no one had your back within the family unit, and you may have felt very alone, and that these familial relationships did not set you up for success right away. I don't see you here as an unsuccess. I think you're a very successful person, but you feel like you had to create a lot of your own luck and success because you didn't have the support that you see other people have from their families. And this has made you've gone through a lot of cycles of feelings. Like you've gone through a lot of cycles of healing and recognizing the trauma, and recognizing what type of attachment styles you have, and learning how to navigate relationships based on who you are now, but who you are now because of how your family situation created you, if that makes sense. This is a really getting like, whoever this is for, you have done a lot of self-work to the point where you're kind of over it if other people have or not. Like, you don't really care. It, like, genuinely, you do not care if other people have worked on themselves. You really hope that they do for their own sake, and because it's the best thing and you've seen what it can do for you. So you really hope that for people. But I think you've really let go here of putting any care into whether or not someone tries to reflect. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised though by somebody is going to come through here in your family and shock you with how they've changed, or they're going to come to you with an apology in some way. I do feel like you might be the one approaching the family, and you're going to think that they didn't want to approach you, but through this conversation you're going to get down to the fact that they never came to you to an apology because they wanted to respect your choice to stay away, and they didn't want to overstep the boundaries. And they're happy that you're back now because they feel that because you opened up the channel of communication, that they can now communicate with you without feeling like they're disrespecting you by not respecting your boundaries. So you may have put up a lot of boundaries that have kept these people out, and because you're dropping them, someone here is taking the opportunity to apologize, to have a really genuine conversation with you, and you're going to be so pleasantly surprised by how they have changed. And that doesn't mean that everyone in this situation is going to make you happy, but somebody here is coming through and really stepping up and taking responsibility and being vulnerable and open with you to have conversations and to hear you out and to understand how these situations made you feel, because they may have done a lot of reflecting on their own life, and this could be a sibling. I'm getting that it's a sibling, but take it as it resonates, because it could be anybody else. That they've done a lot of reflection as well, and that they went through their own trauma. So you know, and I think you are a very compassionate person. I'm getting that because you've had so many struggles. You kind of understand that, but it doesn't change the fact that you may have been hurt by this person. So my advice is to take a step back and realize that that person who may have been a bully or may have put you through hell or may not have been there for you or stood up for you, they were also going through their own experiences, which were potentially traumatic, and their experience of growing up in this environment may not have been very good either for other reasons. And that we all need to have compassion for each other. And I see here that they're very sorry for what happened, but they've had their own struggles too, and I think they're looking to open up the conversation so that you two can get beyond what happened, make apologies, make amends, and move on and have a really, really healthy relationship in the future. It'll take work, but it's probably worth it here with this one person at least. So yeah, just a lot of change happening, transformation in how you felt about the situation through this significant conversation that's going to happen. And I think just the advice here is to be open to the possibility that this person has changed, and that this person could be a really wonderful addition to your life if you so choose to let them in. Okay, I'm gonna leave this message here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Give the video a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If not, maybe I'll catch you in a future reading. Take care. Bye now.